So I did my project and presentation on Ernest Rutherford. Why I chose Ernest, I felt like we had, when I found him, I felt like we had a couple things in common straight away. We both grew up in small rural areas, kind of away from the city. We're both college athletes, which is the main reason I chose him. And then we also both want to pursue a degree in the science field. And I chose him because I feel like it's pretty rare these days for collegiate athletes to want to pursue a degree in the science field. And I felt like that was pretty cool when I found out that that's what he did. So, some background: he was born on August 30th, 1871, in New Zealand. He entered college academics at the age of 16 at Nelson Collegiate School. He played rugby his last 2 years at the school, and in 1889 he went to the University of New Zealand, where he then entered Canterbury College. He graduated in 1893 with a double major in mathematics and physical science from Canterbury College. So what did he study? As I mentioned, he graduated in 1893 with a double major in mathematics and physical science, but he also continued with his research at Canterbury College and received his Bachelor of Science degree the following year. So for his accomplishments, he received a Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1908 for his discovery of the alpha and beta rays and the laws that he proposed of radioactive decay. So this was just his main accomplishment. He had many other accomplishments throughout his scientific career, but as a researcher, there's no higher prize than the Nobel Prize, and so I felt like this was his best and most highly regarded accomplishment throughout his career. So for his contributions, as I mentioned, he discovered the alpha and beta rays. He also discovered that atoms have a small charged nucleus surrounded by a large amount of empty space and are circled by tiny electrons. This is known as the Rutherford model, which this model is still used in chemistry today. And I thought that was pretty cool that a discovery that he made over 100 years ago is still very prevalent in the way we learn chemistry today. And these discoveries also helped aid into the atomic theory, which is still very prevalent today in chemistry. So he's also a published author. He wrote many books. These are just a couple to show how much of a respected author he was for his findings. So some interesting facts. He was actually knighted in 1914. He was also elected to the Royal Society in 1903 and was the president of the society for 5 years, from 1925 to 1930. Another fact that I found pretty interesting was in 1992, his face was actually placed on a piece of New Zealand currency, the $100 note. And so I thought that was a pretty interesting fact. So some struggles that he faced. Ernest's family ran a farm, which also brought struggles financially. It said a lot. I found that a lot of times they didn't really know where their next meal was going to come from, especially if the crop wasn't good that year or if they were low on money already. Another struggle that he faced was he attended government schooling in his childhood, but he was ultimately turned down from his first scholarship, so I'm sure that was hard for him to keep going and pursue his dream after that. So what I've learned, he's made some great contributions, and I've learned that collegiate athletes are able to make contributions into the scientific field. A lot of times you don't really hear of that anymore. It's either one or the other. But he's kind of showed me that it's possible to do both. I also learned that he founded some of the principles that we use in chemistry today, like the Rutherford model and the atomic theory. So how he should be remembered, I think Ernest should be remembered as a hardworking man who helped his family out through labor on the farm when he was a child to financially supporting them once he started making money for his scientific discoveries. I also think he should be remembered, obviously, for his outstanding findings in the scientific field, but also as an outstanding rugby player for Nelson Collegiate College. If I could ask him one question, I'd probably ask him how he balanced the work of his athletics and studies. As a collegiate athlete, I think it's pretty hard to kind of find a happy medium in between those two aspects of your life. So I would just ask him if he like had me advice on how to balance both parts of his life and how he did it. I ultimately had a great time doing this project. I think I learned a lot about him and related to a scientist in a different way that I never thought I could. I thought I had a great time, and I hope y'all enjoyed. Thank you.